Back when I was still younger me, wasting all of this time on bad habits like porn, junk, I used to watch a lot of gaming videos, and one particular YouTuber that I used to watch is someone you might have heard of called Dream. He's a very successful Minecraft YouTuber, and I really enjoyed watching him just before I started my YouTube channel about 3.5 years ago, and I remember him saying in one of his Q&As that to get successful on YouTube, what he did is he literally consumed everything there was, and he said he must have read about 200 books worth of information before he even started YouTube, and then his first video got over 1 million views and blew up for that reason. And for some reason, that's always stayed with me. Even after I started my channel, I kept this in my mind. Because of this, when I started my first YouTube channel, I decided to make learning how to do it properly a priority. And even though my videos were crap at first and I didn't really have any idea what I was doing, I was improving at a rate that is much faster than you typically would improve at as a YouTuber. In the past, I used to stay up late playing games, just wasting a bunch of time, but I literally replaced that with learning about how to grow on YouTube. I replaced all of those bad habits with that, and that became my new fun thing to do. I took a lot of the stuff in and made notes, but I obviously wasn't remembering it all. But what was happening in my subconscious mind is I was downloading all of that information and slowly creating the mind of a successful YouTuber. About 6 to 7 months into this process, I literally started running out of YouTubers to watch, and I started having to re-watch podcasts. That's how much I consumed. There basically wasn't anything else for me to consume, and coincidentally, about then, was about 6 to 7 months in, I started working on the YouTube video that blew up my channel. You could call it a coincidence, but I think it's quite eye-opening. It was literally a full circle moment. I heard what Dream did in that one YouTube video I watched. I always kept it in my mind, and I did the exact same thing, and I got the exact same result. Learning new things is how you reshape your personality and become a new person. So if you want to be successful, you need to learn about it. You need to consume as much information as possible about it so that you can build the brain of a successful person. Sorry bro, my throat hurts a little bit and I feel a little bit ill. I think it's because yesterday I did the hardest workout that I've done in a while, and I don't know if you've had this before, where you go so hard in the gym that the next day you literally feel ill, and the day after it's fine, but you've done so much to your body that your immune system just kicked into overdrive, building all these new muscles. I think that's what's happening to me. Anyway, when I first started doing all this self-help stuff, it was actually back in 2018. I started reading self-help books back then. My mindset with it was a little bit flawed because I essentially thought, I'm reading a self-help book, so this book is gonna help me. I didn't really pay any attention to what types of books I read or what topics that book was on. I essentially just found something exciting and then started reading it. I read it because I liked the idea of it. I paid no mind to whether that particular book would help me in this current stage in my life or not. I would just read it, and it was like a shot in the dark. You were blindfolding me, and the target is where I need to improve, but I was just looking around trying to throw the dart at whatever random direction, so it wasn't really working. It eventually got quite overwhelming because I literally had about 30 or 40 books at a time that I wanted to read, but I obviously couldn't read that many at once, so whilst reading the books, I kept thinking, should I switch to the other book? And it became hard to even finish what I was reading. And that mindset didn't really take me anywhere, because I did read stuff that was helpful, but it wasn't helpful for the current stage of my life. And when I did apply the stuff, it improved my life, but it didn't make that big of a difference. There's a different way to do it, and I'm going to tell you that now. To know what to learn, you need to figure out what your current constraint is, the current topic that's stopping you from getting to the next level. So if you currently don't think you can make it, or you haven't started, you basically don't think you can be successful, your current constraint is belief, and you need to read a book on belief. But if you're past that stage, if you have a firm belief that you can get to your goals, which you should do because you can literally do anything. You're watching a video like this because you're not like other people. If you have this firm belief that you can make it, which you should have, you have a skill or trait issue. And that trait or skill could be focus, storytelling, whatever. You need to figure it out for yourself. Let's say it's like a game. If you currently have level 40 in almost every stat, but your focus is still a level 5, then your current constraint is focus, because it doesn't matter that every other stat is at level 40, because the fact you can't focus is stopping you from using everything else to its fullest potential. You could be the greatest storyteller, the greatest speaker on this planet, but if nobody wants to click on your YouTube video, then you still won't be successful. This one-dimensional explosive growth in one area is how you move your needle forward the fastest. And sure, I read other stuff that isn't my constraint skill at the same time, but you need to make the constraint skill your biggest priority. Still read the other stuff that's helping you, but recognize it's probably not the biggest thing that's stopping you at the moment. I was reading a book on leadership yesterday, because to run a channel like this, you need to get people to follow your advice and to actually implement it, because I know in my head that what I'm saying is useful because it's worked for me and it's literally changed my life. But if my leadership skill is a low level, then no one else is going to give a shit about it unless I manage to convince you to do it. And I read a piece of advice in it that said a leader gets to know everyone individually. That's the responsibility of the leader. It's not the responsibility of someone else to introduce themselves to me. It's my responsibility to build a relationship with you. And it made me realize that over the past couple of months, I've been really neglecting the comments of this channel. There's been a few people that have commented time and time again, and I did read those comments and I appreciated what they said, but I realized that sometimes I only hearted the comments, sometimes I literally didn't do anything at all. So it kicked me straight into action and I started replying to as many comments as possible. I literally got out of my bed and opened my laptop. I was about to go to sleep, but I wanted to implement this straight away because I was really excited about it. So I will state this here. If you're one of the people that regularly watch this channel, I'm really grateful for you. Thank you for sticking around and being part of this community, part of this YouTube channel. I'm really grateful for you. What I was trying to convey to you in that story, where I jumped out of bed and started to implement this advice straight away, is that you need to find your something that gets you that excited. Your business, whatever you're trying to do to make money, needs to be something you actually love and constantly think about. It needs to be fun for you, because then learning about it will feel like play. It will literally feel like you're just watching a YouTube video, and it only feels like play if you're fucking obsessed with it, if you genuinely truly love it. If your heart doesn't truly want to do what you're doing right now, it's going to make learning feel like work. And you're losing out that way, because when you have to learn, you're essentially taking away from your work hours. For me, learning feels like I'm watching a random gaming YouTube video like 3 years ago. Work is draining either way, because you're literally materializing new things into existence. You're creating something, and that takes a lot of brain power. But I don't really get drained while learning because I'm consuming what other people have created. I'm dialed in right now. I'm really focusing on making my other business and this YouTube channel successful. And my day literally consists of working in the morning, then going to the gym, and after the gym, I learn. My day's split into two elements essentially. One is a working side and the other side is the learning side, and it's split in the middle by the gym. If learning drains you, it's going to take away from that work side, so you need to make sure that learning is fun. Remember what we're aiming for here. We're not trying to create another job for ourselves. We're trying to make this process as fun and as fulfilling as possible. The people that grind away on a business that they don't like just because it pays the bills aren't really that much better off than someone who works a 9 to 5. You can allow yourself the luxury of doing whatever you find enjoyable and whatever you like learning about, because every goal is just a few months of learning away. You can start your dream life today, or you can start in a year, but if you start it today, the future you is going to be so grateful for the past you. There's no need to postpone your life anymore. Start doing the thing that you actually enjoy doing now. There's literally not a single thing in my life that I don't genuinely get some enjoyment or fulfillment from. Some things are draining, like trying to get as much valuable information out for these videos as possible, but at the end of filming these videos, I always get a lot of fulfillment from it, and there's no reason that your life shouldn't be the same way. Let's go to the gym. Hello, my friend. Let's go get some gains today. It is a good gym day. It's my favorite gym day because it's a Wednesday right now for me, and I call Wednesday my limb day because there's kind of no compound, like hard exercises. It's all isolations and just a fun exercise. It's kind of like a midweek break from all the intense stuff. Give my body time to recover. So I'm looking forward to that. Excited to show you what I'm doing today. Hello, bro. We are at the gym and I have some exciting news. Well, exciting for me, not very exciting for you. The car is absolutely filthy and there is someone that washes cars at the gym. So while I'm at the gym, I'm gonna get my car washed. I'm very excited. There's loads of bird poos on it right now. So let's drive it over there. Car is nice and clean. I don't think it's ever been this clean because I didn't buy it that long ago. I got it just before I left to Thailand, and the guy that I bought it from didn't actually clean it before I got it. And I've always used to just clean it a little bit myself, but now that it's been cleaned properly, it looks really nice and I'm really happy. Today's session went well. I've been thinking of switching up my gym session, like my gym routines recently, because I've been on this routine for about 8 months now, and there is a flaw with it that isn't really a flaw. So what the program I'm doing tells you to do is to do progressive overload, which is obviously what you want to do if you go to the gym. That's literally the first thing you learn, is to do progressive overload when you go. But the way it does that is it tells you to do specific reps for a specific amount of sets, and it's very regimented. And the problem with that is I find that some days I feel good, some days I feel bad, and some days I just feel like even though it's telling me to do a certain amount of reps, I can really push harder than that. Some days my body isn't feeling as well, and it just doesn't take into account how I feel that day. So in order to squeeze the most out of my gym progress, I've been thinking of just going to failure every single set, because failure is your body's natural way of saying, hey, you've done enough here and we're gonna grow now, you know? And naturally, when you go to failure every time, if you have the discipline to keep the intensity up, you will progressively overload. And that's the good thing about it as well. Training to failure will make the sessions a lot more intense. And I found that whenever I've had intense sessions, especially while I'm bulking, I've seen so much more progress than in these like regimented, exact, you know, scientific sessions. So we're gonna see how that goes. I think I'm gonna switch programs very soon. We're gonna see how that goes. We're gonna do some Sam Sulek style training, if you've seen how he trains. So I'm excited for that. Another thing that's been on my mind is how exactly we can grow this YouTube channel. I have a few goals with this channel, and one of them is to provide as much value as possible and help as much people as possible, but the other one is to grow it and to spread the message. So naturally, value and growing the channel, they don't always go together very well. So I've been thinking about ways that I could possibly, you know, mesh the two together so that I can have a lot of value in the videos but simultaneously spread the message as much as possible. One of the things I've done is improve the titles and thumbnails, because that naturally raises the view count, because basically all of YouTube is click-through rate. I've noticed that it doesn't really matter, as long as you have a few minutes of view duration, what your view duration percentage actually is. If your click-through rate is high, you best believe that that video is going to do well. So I'm going to keep optimizing that. The other thing I've been trying to figure out is how to have like a consistent good hook at the start of the videos, because naturally the start of a video is when the video is most vulnerable to losing people, because that's when new people click on the channel and either stay because they get engaged or leave because they think the video's shit. So I'm going to experiment a bit more with hooks as well. Anyway, I will go home now and have my meal. If you're new here and you enjoyed this video, I'd like to welcome you to this channel. My name is Brian, and I'm just an average guy. And 3 years ago now, I basically freed myself from my 9-to-5 job with online business. I decided to just put my head down, and 2.5 years later, I woke up and I'm living in Thailand. I've moved back to England now, but I can literally do whatever I want, whenever I want, and it's a really good life. That's why I've started this channel. I'm creating a community, a movement of people that currently are either working a 9-to-5 job or are on that trajectory, and they really want to avoid that. They want to create their own life where they can do whatever they want. So if you enjoyed this video, I ask you to consider joining this community. We're all working really hard, building this better life for ourselves. Anyway, that's all from me today. As usual, I will see you in the next one.